Good morning, Sarah Ritchie.
Good morning.
Canadian Press.
Thank
Yesterday,
you.
in an op-ed, Preston Manning wrote that people in Eastern Canada need to recognize, he said, that a vote for the Liberals is a vote for Western secession and a breakup of the country as we know it. Do you agree with Mr. Manning, and what do you say to people who feel that way?
No, we need to unite the country. We need to bring all Canadians together in a spirit of common ground. Let's unite our nation, because after the lost Liberal decade of blocking resource jobs, driving $500 billion out of our economy to the U.S., taxing away our workers, and selling out our country, we can't give the Liberals a fourth term in power. What we need is a new Conservative government that will unite Canadians, unleash our resource production, cut taxes on our workers and entrepreneurs so that we can bring home our jobs and stand up to President Trump from a position of strength for a change.
Columbia.
Thank you.
The risk always with prime ministers and with federal parties is to get trapped in Ontario. They're in Ontario all the time. They're in Ottawa. They're beside Quebec, literally just over a bridge, and they forget about the West. And so my message to the Prime Minister will be that you have to be on top of issues in Western Canada and in British Columbia. And your response, whether to support workers or industries or whatever it is, needs to include British Columbia. So I'm glad he's coming, and I look forward to our visit.
Back to Richard for a follow-up.
On that point, Preston Manning wrote an op-ed that was published today calling for greater conversation in this country about, in essence, what would be Western separation. He says the movement has grown out of Alberta and Saskatchewan, but there could be a sense of that in British Columbia and Manitoba. Do you feel any of that sense of isolationism here in BC and a detachment away from what's happening in the rest of the country?
Yeah, I saw that op-ed. To say that I was deeply disappointed in a moment of national unity when premiers, regardless of political stripe, are reaching out across the country to work together, that Canadians are joining hands. I've never seen the level of Canadian patriotism in British Columbia that I've seen right now, or even from Canadians. It's so inspiring. We're all singing the national anthem loud. We're buying Canadian products. To have an op-ed at this moment that says that the path forward is to break up the country, which is what he said, is completely bizarre. It reflects the perspective of an MLA in our own legislature who approvingly tweeted out a graphic showing Western Canada separation, that he advocated we should become a protectorate of the United States, the MLA for Shuswap Salmon Arm. I just can't fathom that mindset. In this moment where we're all coming together to try to rip the country apart, drive divisions, we need to stick together to be successful as Canadians. If we're going to stand on our own 2 feet, we got to stand together. And I hope that Mr. Manning reconsiders his reintroduction into Canadian political life with this particular proposal. I hope that MLA from Shuswap reconsiders his advocacy for us to become a protectorate of the United States. We're not Guam. We are a proud, amazing province. We are a proud, amazing country, and we're going to stand on our own 2 feet, and we're going to grow our economy, and we will do it not despite the United States, but in fact because it's something we should have done a long time ago.
Final follow-up, Chuck.
Thank you very much. And Premier, again, back to Mr. Manning's editorial. You mentioned the need for a Team Canada approach more than ever. At the same time, this week we've seen Alberta's Premier Daniel Smith write a letter to the Quebec Premier François Legault about possibly pushing for greater provincial autonomy. I was hoping to get your reaction on that, and also whether or not a deeper collaboration in terms of Team Canada is possible with these type of developments happening in the background within provinces. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I don't think there's a premier in Confederation that doesn't look at the deal that Quebec has and think, gosh, that'd be nice. Quebec gets $13 billion in equalization payments from the rest of Canada. They control their own immigration system. They have a special level of consideration from the federal government that the rest of us can only look on and admire. The challenge, I think, for those of us in Western Canada, and I can't speak for Premier Smith, but what I can say for myself is we are in British Columbia. We're just looking for a fair deal. We're looking for a per capita share, anything that Quebec or Ontario gets. We just want a per capita share for British Columbians, and we want that same space at the table. I've had reassurances from the Prime Minister that's front of mind for him. I know that the leader of the Conservative Party federally is committed to that. I know that the leader of the NDP party federally is committed to that. So I'm hopeful that whoever becomes Prime Minister at the end of this election cycle ensures that British Columbia is at the table in a meaningful way, and that our voice is heard. And if the feds want to give us increased autonomy over immigration, we would certainly welcome it because it has not been handled well to date.